I guess scale of 1 to 10, how afraid do you think boomers are of Venezuela actually getting nukes, like what Jack Ryan is saying that we're all going to do? Because seems like I'm about to get some very troubling emails from my grandma about all that, and I do not stand for it whatsoever. It just doesn't make sense to me because Amazon has a partnership with the CIA and with, the police departments and everywhere else. Like, this just seems like they're not even trying to blanketly hide the fact that this is just 100% propaganda,
Yeah, they got to cover up. They got to cover up that attempt to buy the Iranian oil tanker.
Yeah, did anyone actually watch the first season?
No.
Of Jack Ryan?
I was interested, mildly, because some of those movies are okay, but yeah, I don't buy him as like a lead in that sort of production anyway, especially after the whole 13 Hours, the secret stories of the soldiers of Benghazi or whatever that movie's called.
You mean the film that I saw with Zach that made him cry in the theater?
Look, we were all very high in that theater, okay?
Top 10 emotional movies. Number 1, 13 Hours, Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Number 2, Brothers Grimby. Sacha Baron Cohen gives a tour de force style performance in that. Yeah. I mean, it seems like the counter-programming, though, or not even counter-programming, is that no matter where you want to turn in terms of a streaming service, they're pushing stuff on you. Because Sacha Baron Cohen is starring in his own espionage-style movie or TV series. It wasn't clear from the trailer what it was, but it's called The Spy, and it's basically working with Israeli intelligence. And I'm like, I'm not so sure how I feel about this sort of a thing happening in 2019.
Wasn't he just making fun of those guys on HBO or Showtime or whatever it was?
Yeah. And that's why I'm so confused about it.
He's pretty good about being critical of those things.
Well, not if he's working with them on this new project.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah, I mean, I'll critique you, but $35 million is $35 million. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Hey, hadn't he also just uncovered like a total secret fucking pedophile ring or something in his last TV show or whatever he did? Right?
Oh yeah, that he actually had. Yeah, absolutely. Going up to the concierge, just being like, "Hello, I would like a child," and the concierge is like, "I can't help you, but these people can." I'm like, wow. Yeah, there was a tweet I saw about the Jack Ryan season 2 trailer that really kind of hit home. It's from a guy named Tom Wojcik, I want to say, Wojcik.
It's pronounced Wojak, I think.
Wojak.
Yeah, like
nice,
Bojack.
Nice. Gonna just like really make this guy's life hard. Oh well. The tweet reads: "The Jack Ryan show definitely began production back when the coup was being coordinated, assuming it would still be in motion by the time production wrapped. But the coup blew up in their face, so now all they have is a stupid TV show, which is kind of funny. Fuck John Krasinski." Which, I mean, like, that's absolutely what happened. I mean, they thought, that Maduro would be deposed, and they thought that there would be something new happening, and then this would be the propaganda arm for it. But as it turns out, fuck-ups continue to happen with the CIA in Central America. And so...
Yeah, now their main character is
ourselves
on trial for what is it?
High treason.
High treason. He's going to be drawn and quartered in real life, so...
We're about to see Jack Ryan have to step away from the CIA, pull an Ollie North, and become the director of the NRA. Is what's going to happen in season 3. So
that might happen in real life. Like, I can totally see John Krasinski becoming the president. I mean, they've had an actor leader for a long time. I mean, they did for a long time.
Yeah, I don't get though why I mean, I guess it's just the fact that I keep on thinking of him as Jim from The Office.
That's
But,
all
like,
he'll
he
ever be at the end of the day.
Yeah, he always plays chud roles all the time. Like, at a certain point, I just got to think, oh, okay, well, this is just who he is, I suppose. I mean,
Yeah.
Emily Blunt deserves better, I guess, is my overarching point.
No, I really can't wait for that episode where he just starts firing a rifle into a crowd of civilians and then just turns to the camera and does the fucking same Jim face from The Office, like, uh-oh, this is awkward.
Yeah. All I know is he's like a Boston sports fan, right? So that explains some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we
Ooh.
already canceled Boston on last week's episode.
Yeah, fuck Ben Affleck, fuck John Krasinski.
Marky Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Yeah, Marky Mark, you dumb bitch. Thinking that you could stop 9/11 with your shitty hamburger kung fu.
He is the one on the list that actually committed a hate crime, so.
If that's not Boston energy.
Psychic Dolphin Garage.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Psychic Dolphin Garage. I'm one of your co-hosts, Kelton. You can find me on Twitter at SexConfetti. Joining me today is my good buddy Zach.
Hey
How you doing,
everybody,
man?
I'm doing well. It's a good day here in the garage. We got Bo here with us as well,
Barely. My fucking computer crashes again.
and we also have Minion Death Cult with us.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just bitter
Fucking
now. Because... Yes, we do have the
No,
wonderful...
you don't get to speak at the moment. Joining us today is Minion Death Cult, an amazing professional podcast who we
Mea
are
culpa.
clearly fucking ourselves on. So, that's always well and good.
Yep.
Trying desperately to hope that we don't have to record a third time, and that's all we
Listen.
get them for time-wise.
What's going on, Alex?
Hey, yeah. My name is Alexander Edward. Thanks so much for having us on. You have fulfilled your end of the bargain after coming on our show. So after this, we can wipe the slate clean.
The blood oath. Is
Also with me
fulfilled.
here today is my co-host, Tony Boswell.
What's going on, guys? I'm Tony Boswell. Word is Bond on Twitter. Yeah, pumped to hang out. And I usually find that, like, ninth times, like, that's the charm for us. That's the ninth go-around is the one that really... It actually is the rawest because you've gone in and you've come out and now you're really at, you're most exposed.
Your throat just sounds scratchy as shit. Like,
Yeah.
you're absolutely exhausted. Yeah.
You've made the same joke 4 times. It got worse
And-
and worse every time. You're just ready.
Yeah,
to
it hasn't
go.
landed once.
Well, nine
the acid-
is
the
good
acid kicks
because
in.
it's an odd number, and so it comes back around to being funny.
Yeah, the
Exactly,
podcast
yeah.
numerology is really strong on that one. Well, cool.
Yeah,
What's
well-
your podcast birth sign?
I'm a I'm a comedy bang bang cusp, which means I'm incredibly unfunny. I'm right on the edge of being funny, but I just don't fucking quite make it there.
We're all much further from the edge of being funny than we think on our own minds, unfortunately. So it's a very large existential problem. Well, since we have Minion Death Cult on for this episode, we tried to do with this docket was have it be stuff that would erode my soul at least half as much as it does your souls when you guys go through all the horrible Facebook comments.
That's
And
good.
So we tried to tailor some stories specifically that might be fun for that. So the first one that we want to get into, and I'll let Zach go ahead and actually head up the story, is the tale of Renonymous. Zach, what exactly is going on here?
Well, I don't know if you guys know about this, but there are a bunch of celebrities, this one in this case specifically Jeremy Renner, who have apps that they have, and it's their own social media platform for their super fans to get on and talk with each other.
Love celebs,
And
love
it's-
apps, baby.
Yeah, it's like this weird reskinned Instagram or Twitter app where you can claim to be a top fan, and the whole premise is that you might get an opportunity to talk to Jeremy Renner, and totally not Jeremy Renner's agent's intern's cousin who runs the account, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or just like algorithm.
Hello,
Thumbs up.
valued fan.
Thank you.
It really reminds me of like that early internet, early computer game thing where, Tim and Eric made fun of it with the internet or whatever. But you just have a program with like 5 different profiles of like quote people you can chat to, and there's like the Blonde Valley girl, you can talk to, or there's like the construction worker you can talk to. And it's just one of those for each celebrity, and whether it's, algorithmically derived or just, some clickbait farm in Macedonia. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, it rules.
Yeah, well, and it's super easy to monetize it because they sell like stars for real life money.
So wild.
This is honestly the best part. Yeah.
Yeah, and
This guy was in the highest grossing movie of all time, and he's still relying on microtransactions to get by.
I'm sick of all these like subscription services. We need some sort of bundling pack that can put my Jeremy Renner app with my John Krasinski app and just pay one fee,
Oh, Jesus. Well, the good news is that these apps are not well designed and have lots of exploits. And I believe that Chapo covered this news story that came out on one of their bonus episodes, which there's a journalist that they talked to who writes for
Deadspin.
Yeah, that's right. He writes for Deadspin. And he claimed that he had started this whole troll war that occurred on the app recently, which actually drove Jeremy Renner to shut down the application.
And start to refund people all their sweet, sweet stars.
All their dumb fucking microtransaction money.
That's so amazing that they're refunding it. I'm like, that's such a generous act that if they bring it back, I might just go to the Renner instead of get off.
Yeah,
Don't.
Yeah, just kick him a good like $20. Yeah.
Yeah.
The app design itself is super sucky because it makes it look like all replies to whatever you post are coming from Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, you get like a push notification that's like, Jeremy Renner says.
Yeah,
I like talking to you, yabba dabba doo.
Yeah, and so we wanted to actually correct the record from the Chapo Trap House episode where they talked to this journalist from Deadspin who claimed that he had begun this whole troll war. Whereas we have actually uncovered news and spoken directly to this group, Renonymous. That's Renner Anonymous. Renon. And they actually explained to us how the journalist from Deadspin was clout chasing and had not, in fact, contributed anything at all to the hard work that was put into exploiting the naming system, exploiting the reply system, and bringing anarchy to the application itself. So once again,
essentially for stealing shit poster valor. Yeah.
We're here today to correct the story on the brave posters out there, and to prevent the East Coast elites from claiming their hard work yet again.
Yeah, this guy, Stefan Heck, he claims that he basically shut down the Renner app when he put in a message as a response saying, like, oh, I'm planning on watching porno, haha. And he wrote that on August 20th of 2019. And he then said, oh, well, then after that, people started to get inspiration from that, and they were so inspired that they started posting all these ridiculous things all over the place. When a more accurate way to describe this series of events would be to go all the way back to 2017 when the app originally got started by EscapeX, who runs the app, and they got apps for Jeremy Renner, Mark Anthony, Bob Marley, a whole bunch of other people, and people's
Bob
initial
Marley?
complaint.
You can talk to the ghost of Bob Marley?
Hell yes, you can.
Hell yeah.
Dang.
That fucking rules.
And there's nothing problematic with that whatsoever.
I wish that was around when I was trying to juggle multiple wives.
Yeah, at the beginning, people's biggest complaints was that you could only really say positive things about Jeremy Renner, or you would get banned or locked out of your account. And then also the fact of what we previously mentioned of it's essentially pay to play. Like, if you want to be recognized as a top fan to get a chance to talk to Jeremy Renner, you need to have the most stars, which you can get by people giving it to you or by you just buying it outright. So,
And they also
so
give you
fucking
bonus
weird.
stars when you make a new account, which is
yeah, so
very
what
easy for trolls.
What the Renonymous group figured out was that instead of buying something, you could just create a whole bunch of accounts that give a whole bunch of stars to a few accounts, essentially funneling it all the way through, and then you can start essentially picking fights with other members, calling them fake fans or whatever, and stirring up drama. And they had been doing this consistently, more or less, from the time that the app actually had been started. Maybe not this group specifically, but that's just something that has been the case since 2017. So then when so they're just picking fights with people all the time and starting arguments and just having fun running it
had
mostly
actually
out of the shitposting
escalated to the
group.
point where they had figured out that if you make a Facebook profile with the name Jeremy Renner and an @Jeremy Renner, you could connect to the app with that Facebook profile, and it would just be like, "Oh, hello,
That's the real
Jeremy
guy."
Renner."
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Dang.
then they copied the profile picture over, so they had a bunch of fake Jeremy Renner accounts, and they started doing new celebrity accounts new fake celebrity accounts on the app.
Casey
And
Anthony, notable
Casey Anthony was the one that actually got picked
notable
up.
face there.
Yeah, that got picked up
Wow.
by tabloids and was like, oh my gosh, Casey Anthony on the Jeremy Renner app. And then
What a weird, what a weird intersection of like incredibly online people and incredibly not online people. I really love that.
Yeah. And
Oh yeah, I mean, for 3 days there was a photo of Killer Mike from Run the Jewels, who he was listed as Jeremy Renner's brother. And people were just like, "That's so cool! We didn't know that." Mixture of irony and genuine fans.
Yeah, no, just throw a D in Jeremy's name and bada bing, bada boom, you got fucking Jeremy Renner. There you go.
You think they were like, oh, I wonder which one's adopted? Like, which one grew up? Which one was the oddball?
No, they're fraternal twins.
That's why Jeremy's such a great dancer.
Sometimes that just happens.
Yeah.
oh Jesus. Well, after Casey Anthony got big, there was an influx of people that added to the trolling, and that was about the time that this journalist made his post. And from the app, anytime you respond to a post, it says Jeremy Renner, because it's referencing the Jeremy Renner app, said, and then whatever your response was. And so on some big post, he said, I'm about to go watch porno. It blows up. He comes back. He sees he contributed to the explosion of this interesting internet phenomenon that we only have in late capitalism, where we're trying to connect to other people.
And
Yeah.
and let's just take a moment to assess the fact that there is a let's just go ahead. I'm going to jump the gun. If he wants to prove me wrong, go for it. I'm going to say mediocre white guy who thinks that by writing porno on the internet, he can break the system. And it's not the people uploading photos of Casey Anthony that are the ones who are truly the lords of chaos of this whole thing. Like,
Well, Stefan Heck, I don't even think he's a journalist. He's I like him. He's a funny guy. He's got a podcast called Blocked Party. He's friends with like your Kickstarter sucks guys, so I wouldn't be surprised if he were part of this Renonymous collective. It was just him and all his fucking friends fucking around. Yeah, I don't think he's a journalist.
He's got a check mark. That means he's a journalist. That's how that works.
of course.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to believe that, something existed for more than 24 hours on the internet without, like, someone, making a cum joke. on that whatever platform that is.
Oh, immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. To give you guys an example, this is version, I want to say either 2.0 or 3.0 of the Jeremy Renner app. Because before, when things would get too wild on it, they would just shut down the app and scrub all the comments and content completely off of it.
Honestly,
Oh, no.
no, they're like leaders of how to do this. I mean, what it took a dozen shootings to shut down 8chan, and it just takes a couple porno comments on this to shut it down and clean it up. I respect that.
Yeah, yeah. But think of all the lost stars and all the lost comments. I mean, it's like a fucking modern day burning of the Library of Alexandria.
Yeah, like Tears in the Rain.
How are we gonna get back all the excellent times? Fucking Renner fan 98 commented, "Dude, you're really great as Hawkeye," and other such gems as the others.
I was gonna say the House of the Rising Sun cover that Jeremy Renner had set up for a while. Whenever you
shit,
opened
right.
it, that was infamous. And then now he's branched out into doing like his own original music that kind of sounds like Imagine Dragons and Nickelback,
But somehow worse than
both. Yeah.
There was a guy at a open mic night my friend used to run, and this guy also was there. Like he worked for the bar / venue, and he would use his employee discount or his employee clout to do a performance at open mic every time they had it, and he would only play House of the Rising Sun on acoustic guitar for 6 minutes, and he would also play what's that song that's like, man, it's too many songs to try and explain it, but it's the one where it's like two lovers in a car that die. It's from like the 50s or the 60s. Don't remember, but it's just like the saddest, most monotonous fucking song that is way too long in its original form, but still much better than hearing a pseudo goth play it at open mic night.
It's "Life in the Fast Lane" by the Eagles.
Yeah, that's it.
Every song is, in fact.
I don't know. I think my favorite, just tag on what Alex was saying. My favorite local who would always do a thing was the guy who would do Duhas at every karaoke, and he was like totally goth, and he would just go all out. He did it every open mic and every karaoke. He just went up and did that song, and it was just shit. And, yeah, this guy was amazing.
That's the energy
Still
that
is
we
amazing.
need. We need more of that energy.
Is that the cyber goth guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he's
okay.
like cyber goth, but he has like two costumes. He on Wednesday he'll be like full cyber goth, like spiky shoulder pads, like the whole thing, yellow hair. The next day he'll be total SoCal bro, high sock, DVS, Dickie shorts.
Wow.
And it's really bizarre watching him go like, what every day you're gonna catch him on.
That's called code switching. Don't judge it too harshly.
But you can't code switch your modern Volkswagen Bug that the back seat is covered in plush Angry Birds. This is all the same person. This is all one
Holy
guy.
fucking shit.
No, the best car I've seen is one. It's like a 1993 Toyota. But when it was still all boxy, and it's got spikes all over it, like not metal, but like chrome plastic spikes all over it, including like a gun rack, but for lightsabers on top.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
What the fuck?
Wow,
fucking rules.
that is some fucking sick consumer identity right there.
Yeah, I might have
Goddamn.
a picture of it somewhere in my photo roll.
Yeah, the closest I've ever gotten was this it was like a shitty, standard sedan in like Denton, Texas, with literally the entire back window. I'm not sure how this was street legal, but literally like the entire back window covered in fucking Deadpool stickers, and then there was like a used condom on the ground right next to it. And I'm not sure if that was related, and I'm not sure if it's better or worse if it were.
Absolutely, it's related.
It was a nasty looking condom too. It must have been there for a minute.
Well, the used condom wasn't actually for sex because I don't think Deadpool would wear a condom. It was used more like a prop in his stand-up routine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand.
Look for a
Siri didn't get it.
look for a condom balloon animal around the car.
That's yucky.
It's not a fun time.
I'm holding the whole condom up to my face to blow it.
Yeah. Sorry.
God. The worst I've
Didn't
seen
even take us
recently
off
was
there.
like a Maserati that had Pikachu on the side, and it just said swag under Pikachu. And
Ooh, that is some very
not
2009 content. I love it.
It's not even an aesthetic, and it's like already aged, so I don't understand the purpose of that.
I think the swag Pikachu is the one that the Detective Pikachu shoots in the back.
Shoots in the back with cum. There it is. There's our cum joke.
Really tying it together. Yep.
Yep. Okay, I'm out, guys. I'll
You got your cum joke in. Yeah.
I got my cum joke in.
That's it.
Y'all have fun.
All right.
Okay,
have fun
bye.
being a normal person.
Later.
Well, wait, what the fuck? Did he actually hang up?
Yeah.
That rules.
Yeah, he had stuff to go do.
Oh, right.
so.
He's got like actual real life shit. I thought he was joking about that for a sec, and then I remembered.
God damn it, Bo.
I'm a fucking idiot, man. I don't know things. So how do we transition from just Pikachu coming on another Pikachu to Republicans building a border wall around a golf course?
Well, I mean, speaking of Pikachus coming on other Pikachus, if you want to talk about people really fucking themselves over,
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, I got another
was-
one too.
That was
Go
high
for it.
art.
I didn't know when Trump said "gotta catch 'em all," he was talking about me.
Hey. Pokemon Go to a detention facility.
Aw.
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird to me about the world of politics, and that's quickly what's dominating most of my social media feeds. Well, that and fantasy football, but that's not what this podcast is about. So I'm going to save everyone that. But one real slice of life story that took over was an expose talking about a retirement community that was going to, unfortunately, be put south of the border wall, even though the retirement community was, for the most part, full of Trump voters. And so seeing a whole bunch of snowbirding boomers in South Texas realizing that, oh, shit, I might actually, suffer because of my voting history and backing who I backed was just the sweetest thing to see in the world.
It's pretty good.
That's
It reminds
pretty
me
great.
of that fucking bee guy who was so upset because the border wall was going to go across his bee reservation. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a whole fucking sob story in the LA Times or something like that, and he was like, God, I thought it would only be affecting brown people, not black and white bugs.
Yeah.
Black and yellow bugs.
These are American citizen bees, I promise. Like every single one.
American bees. That's right. They listen to Garth Brooks and drive Fords the whole time. That's how American these bees are.
Yeah, there's something like I try not to I don't know if shame is the right word, but I try not to mock like the few working people who voted for Trump because like I don't know they thought he didn't sound like a establishment politician and absolutely loathed establishment politicians like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I think those people can be more
Sure,
easily
sure.
forgiven than some old retirement fuck who definitely votes Republican in every election anyway,
Yeah.
finally receiving a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It really is something of where they are in a mild state of panic because they found out that the border wall might actually cut through their golf course. And they don't quite know how to handle all of this news.
I mean, Trump is a businessman. It sounds like a good business decision when you own like 300 competing golf courses.
Yeah. And I think they only had like the golf course in hopes that he would come visit them.
Oh,
It's like a weird cargo cult thing where they're convinced if they build a gaudy enough golf course and fill it with enough fucking cheeseburgers and just garbage that he'll just appear magically.
Yeah, like shoeless Joe Jackson.
Exactly.
Picturing what a retirement home shrine to Trump looks like is just it's sickening to me, and to think of like how it would smell, it just violates my nostrils.
Oh yeah, if you think regular old people smell is bad, God, this would be about 1,000,000 times fucking worse.
Old people smell mixed with a South Texas golf cart style.
A little bit of exhaust from the. Because you definitely know they don't have those, namby-pamby liberal electric golf carts. Like, these are all diesel. And they fucking reek.
Well, like,
Leaded diesel.
Nothing better than rolling coal on my way to the 19th hole, am I right?
I don't think it's like ageist to say that old people should be refrigerated.
No,
It's
not.
They should be like an air conditioning, like, for their own good. Like, a hot old person is it's unsafe and smells bad.
Yeah, like, I'm 25 and I already,
if we're
I
going to
already
be talking
sweat
about hot
in
old
fucking
people,
70
leave
degrees.
Marianne
So.
Williamson out of this, okay? Come on.
It's a different stench, man. It's just different.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the thing that I guess bothers me, but I want to laugh, but I know that this is even more problematic, is the fact that 4 states have already said that they're not going to be doing Republican primaries with Trump when the 2020 primary season actually starts. And I had to look into this, and not even the Democrats in 2012 with Obama suspended primaries. So the Republican Party establishment is basically saying, this is our guy. This is going to be the one who we're going to get all the backing for. We're not even going to bother with spending any money on any outsiders that could come in.
I think they put out a statement, like, it was pretty blatant. They said something like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, I think there's 2 ways you can look at this. You can look at it as a sort of anti-small d democratic action, which, you could point to this, or you could just point to the existence of the Democratic and Republican Party machines in general being anti-democratic establishments. So not really an aberration from that, despite, there not being much precedent for this particular case. But you could also look at it and point to the fact that Trump has an enormous approval rating among Republican voters, not just the Republican establishment. I think if the establishment thought there was any chance of him being successfully primaried, they would entertain that notion.
Yeah.
But the voters don't want it. The voters don't give a fuck about a primary. Trump is the only reason half of them would even come out in 2020. So there's not going to be it's not going to be any pushback among the people that this particular establishment is actually aiming to represent.
Yeah, it definitely is an example of real politique, so to speak. Of them trying to, not waste resources, for lack of a better term.
And not shift basically the narrative, not take any attention away from Trump's campaign.
Yeah, they're basically doing the exact opposite of what the Democratic establishment is doing, with them shutting down the Think Progress website and trying to fold that in to CAP for some unknown reason. I don't get how they could possibly think that would be a good PR move, especially right now with so many progressive candidates and voices asking to be heard, and that groundswell movement to then go, okay, well, let's cut this out right.
Well, fuck that,
yeah.
No, it's cool. I get all my news from other sites like Brain Forward and Thunk Future. Really, really, really good stuff like that. I mean, the fact that. Is it such a huge loss? I mean, of course, like it's a dumb tactical move on the Democrats' part, but is it such a fucking dumb, or is it such a huge loss if a website that's essentially like able to be shut down by them. You know, like was it worth that much in the first place?
I mean, to the 12 staffers that still existed there.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
it
exactly.
was-
Those interns needed that on their resume. That's a good point. Damn.
Well, so like, Think Progress was already part of the Center for American Progress, which we know is like, you know, a centrist organization, a centrist democratic organization, and yeah, they're you know, closing it up or whatever. It reminds me of like the attempt to tamp down on progressive activism, you know, although I don't know if running this site counts as activism, probably not. But the effort to tamp down on like progressive, possibly dissenting voices during the Obama administration, you know, the
absolutely.
idea of which was like, we are the establishment now. We don't need anyone like mucking things up for us or fucking up the messaging or that might be on a slightly different page than us. We got it. But it's funny that they're doing this while there's still a Republican administration in office. You know, they're so, I don't know, assured of their own future success, which is hilarious, as we know, that they're willing to just fold this up. Oh, no, it's fine. We got it.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we got this in the bag, y'all. 2020, don't even worry about it.
Which they do. I mean, they do. There's just as many Trump 2024 hats out there as there are 2020 hats. So, they do got this. Like, they're fine.
That really is a cursed image in my head to think about, is all of the Trump 2024. Just
Well,
my God.
you do see that meme a lot, and, you know, it's quote unquote just a meme, because that's how they all start, of, like the Trump dynasty, where it's like, okay, here's Junior running in 2024, here's, one of the other ones, until eventually we get our first, gamer president with Barron Trump. I mean, like, I guarantee you, as much as it's just a joke, there are plenty of those people who would be totally fine with just that same fucking, family running the country.
No,
Until-
I can't wait for Trump Jr. to run, because that's going to happen. Like, he would be stupid not to just do it for fun.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, that's going to happen, and I think this one at least, maybe I can finish laughing with this one.
Yeah, fuck, that is bleak, yeah.
I mean, if George Bush could, hand the reins over essentially to George W. Bush, there's no reason to think that Trump won't hand it over to Trump Jr.
Holy shit,
So-
yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of our wheelhouse. Like, you're talking about the memes of the Trump dynasty or whatever. That's, I mean, it is beyond a meme right now. These people really hope they will never see a Trump out of office. And for all the sort of like, we hate political establishment, we hate these dynasties, a la, the Clintons or even the Bushes that they hate.
Yeah.
No, they 100% want to see this particular dynasty reign, for 1,000 years. And I mean, it just goes back to the idea that you can't point out hypocrisy because it's just rampant on that side of things. And it really I don't know, reveals the authoritarian nature of these people. They only didn't want a what's the word, like an unassailable or an unimpeachable political dynasty because it was the family that they just didn't happen to like. It's not based on it's not based on a principle or anything like that.
It wasn't their team. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's just like, to them, it's just like anything we consume. So you find a record label that's just putting out good stuff. You're going to keep on, you're going to check out anything they bring to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the closest comparison I could have would be, as a sports fan, when the Kansas City Chiefs released Kareem Hunt, a lot of people who weren't fans of the Kansas City Chiefs would be like, this guy's problematic, this is a bad dude, look at what he did, how could you do this, you're trash, blah, 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 blah. But then, once he signed on with the Cleveland Browns, all of the Cleveland base was like, he's our guy now. So, he's playing for us. So,
Jesus.
it's okay. I
I don't know much about football, but my family is from Cleveland, and I know that they're like pretty desperate, right? So like that's kind of a thing, right? They may as well, right? They already suck.
Yeah, I mean, this was supposed to
And
be.
they're not trying to appeal to white fans either, right? They just like.
No.
Yeah.
They're trying to appeal to any fan whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Full on capitalist style approach, because this was supposed to be their year where they make it big, and they are currently down 43-13 right now. So I guess you could say that things aren't going well for them overall, but. Yeah, I don't know what's being run worse at the moment, the Cleveland Browns franchise or the Democratic Party, because, Marianne Williamson is trying to move Hurricanes with her mind. Yang is constantly bitching about not making it in the polls and, like, not being listed in the right order. Sanders is having to apologize for using the N-word when quoting someone that he said like 20-something years ago. And Joe Biden, in the world of today, is having a brain that's about to explode when he thinks about climate change for like 2
fucking
seconds.
leaking out his ears. Yeah.
Yeah, what's going faster, the ozone layer or Joe Biden's brain? I guess. I'll levy that question to the group overall.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just,
Also, yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. It's just fucking hilarious that we're constantly told that Joe Biden is our number one shot at beating Trump, and he's just literally falling apart in front of our eyes, And when I think he, I have like two warring predictions in my mind about whether or not Joe Biden would beat Trump. I think almost any Democrat could beat Trump. I know that sounds foolhardy to say. I think a lot of the reasons that Trump won was because, voter depression. People didn't come out because they thought Hillary had it in the bag and they didn't like her anyway, so they're not going to even give this sort of aesthetic support of going to the polls for her. But then once people saw that, oh shit, no, maybe voting actually does have an effect. I think that they're like, look at the 2018 midterms, historic turnout in general, but for the party out of power especially, and there's a chance that Joe Biden could lose. I think he'd probably be the one person that could lose to Trump. But yeah, even if he wins, he's gonna fucking like try to say 5 different things at once, and his mind is gonna explode, and he's gonna die, and then we'll get some fucking Midwestern Republican that he's picked as his VP to appeal to white voters for the next 4 years before, like Tom Cotton takes over.
God.
See, I'm really on the whole Tucker Carlson. Really seizing it as
totally
a third way candidate, sort of going full Nazbol. Is what I'm truly afraid of.
I had that thought too.
Yeah, my parents love that fucking show of his, and if they start trying to talk fucking like any sort of economic theory that makes sense, that's when I know it's like, okay, time to buy a gun and go live in the mountains. Like, everything's going to shit.
Everything he says that, like, as a vamp up, you're like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, I mean. It's true of most Fox News shows, like addressing the actual problem in terms of mentioning it, but then their solvency and how they recommend actually fixing it.
It's the gays, obviously. It's their fault.
Yeah, it's gays, it's immigrants, it's minorities, it's the youths. It's not you. Yeah.
These millennials and their tablets and their phones. Yeah.
So I guess the thing that we can do as we're dealing with all of these larger problems and we're trying to figure out what all is exactly happening is try and have a little bit of fun with it, even in a very dark way. And
Jesus, right? Yeah.
This is a game that I've been wanting to play with you guys since we got done recording the episode with y'all a while back.
Why does that sound like an opening to a fucking one of the Saw movies? Like,
yeah. I mean, like it's
real
either
fucking
the opening
ominous.
to like an Andy Kaufman bit or definitely Jigsaw. Just, but this is a game that I'm going to call Ice Agent or Mass Shooter, where you guys have to guess based on me reading a quote if it comes from an ICE agent or if it's a line from a mass shooter, either a quote directly from them or a quote that can be found in one of their manifestos.
Because
Nice.
I was going to say. So where did you source these comments from, Kelton?
Yeah, in the statements that they have made to the news or specifically from their manifestos, which weirdly, it is insanely hard to get a copy of mass shooting manifestos. So I don't know what list I'm now put on. But needless to say, got those resources available for us. So
Nice.
the way it will work is I'll read the quote. Bo, Alex, and Tony, y'all play, and just tell me if you think the quote comes from an ICE agent or a mass shooter.
Okay.
And we'll go 6 rounds. And then if there is a tied score, the top 2 scorers will face off in a tiebreaker. And then
Alrighty.
if y'all tie again,
Let's roll initiative.
I don't know. Okay? All right. So round 1. They are like wild animals. Stop feeding them, and they won't hang around and shit on the street.
I'm saying ICE agent.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna go Ice Agent as well.
yeah, Ice Agent. That's just like a Facebook meme.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That is from an ICE agent named Richard Tyler Jr. So
Richard Tyler.
Good times.
Yeah, I bet Richard Tyler
yep.
Sr. is so proud of him.
Yeah, Dick Tyler Sr. is very proud of his son. So, all right, round 2. Are you guys ready?
Nope.
Yep.
Okay. The masses have spoken, and today democracy won. I have returned. To everyone who knows the real me and had my back, I say thank you.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Ooh.
It's a trick
I'm
question.
gonna-
That's Sheriff Joe Arpaio.
So he is both ICE agent and mass shooter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for mass shooter on that one.
Mass shooter?
I'm actually gonna go for Ice Agent. Sounds like someone who almost got in some trouble, but then was vindicated with racism.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alex?
Yeah, it sounds like the fucking president of the ICE Agent Union.
Yeah.
It was ICE agent Thomas Hendricks. So Alex 1, Tony 1, Bo 0. All right. Now, round 3. Well, someone has to have the bravery to take it to the real world, and I guess it has to be me.
Oh no. Shit. That's the whole quote.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the whole quote.
That's one of the it's one of the 17-year-olds doing the ROTC for Border Patrol on high school campuses.
Yeah, they get if you don't have a bathroom pass when you're walking down the hall, they just throw you in a locker and leave you there for about a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Shit. I'm gonna say that's ICE agent.
Okay, ICE agent.
That's a mass shooter, unfortunately.
I'm gonna say teenage ICE Agent, pre ICE Agent.
All right. Well, round 3. That is from mass shooter Dylan Roof.
Oh
So-
damn. God, that seems like
Yeah.
a million years ago.
Yeah. Sadly, not that long ago.
No, there are
whatsoever.
just a lot of those now.
All right, are you guys
Okay.
ready? Round 4. Or here, let's see here, real quick, halfway point. So that
I'm winning. That's all I know.
Yeah. Tony's in the lead.
Tony 2, Alex 1, Bo 0.
I
No,
consider
I got the first one right.
I'm sorry.
we
Come
all
on
got
now.
the first one right. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
matter.
It's effectively 0.
I may be in second place, but I consider this a moral victory.
This new version of Mario Party is fucking just so depressing. Like, goddamn. At least I get to be dressed as Waluigi.
It really does make things a little bit easier all the way through.
And a lot sexier. Anyway, let's continue on.
Alrighty. So, next up for round 4. Something is dishonorable, not because it lacks virtue, but because it goes against their authority. All they're doing is imposing their will on you.
It's Tucker
I'm gonna
Carlson.
say. I was gonna say it was something from World of Warcraft. No, it's I'm gonna say mass shooter. I feel like dishonorable is too many syllables for an ICE agent. So yeah, that's my guess.
All right.
I'm going to say mass shooter, and for bonus points, I'm going to say the they is women.
Okay, I'm gonna say mass shooter, but the they is the Jews for importing people of color.
Ooh, very interesting. All right, so everyone's going mass shooter on this round, right?
Let's hear it. Yeah.
All right, you guys are doing a whole lot better. You guys really understand mass shooters. That's mass shooter Adam Lanza. So,
The original Joker
Alex
guy.
Jones. Yeah. So, good times all the way around.
Adam Lanza, he was the incel guy, or he was the.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
Sandy Hook.
I have him confused with the Aurora shooter guy. Never mind.
They all start to blur together.
They really do. Yeah. Remember when back in the good old days when most mass shooters were only covertly racist?
Remember back in the
it
good
was
old
just a theory.
days when you could remember the names of all the mass shooters and they all stood out and gained huge prominence, and now they just blend in with one another, and it's really sad.
Yep.
Yeah. There was something I was
basically.
looking into that was talking about how serial killers have gone down, but mass shooters have gone up, and just looking into the correlation about how overall the not victim pool, but the suspect pool, so to speak, is staying proportional to our population. But just in this era of social media, you're able to catch on to serial killers sooner. So people are moving to spree. So yay, love this world that we exist in.
Well, so, I mean, of course that sucks a lot, but my takeaway from what you just said is that in fucking 30 years, we're going to have a movie where Zac Efron, or, the future equivalent of Zac Efron, or maybe a clone, just plays Elliot Rodger. Which,
God.
really, really excited for that.
Yeah, Mindhunter season 35 is looking real dark.
Elliot Rodger would be played by Hayden Christensen. I still.
Why would you speak that into existence?
I still maintain that there are striking similarities between Elliot Rodger and Hayden Christensen in episode 2. It's like the same exact energy.
Yep.
That is unfortunately very
That is
very
spot
true.
on. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
All right,
That's amazing.
Tony's pitching a perfect game right now, so let's see if we can keep this up.
Yeah. Bravo.
All right, here's the quote. You should be uncomfortable. You should look over your shoulder, and you need to be worried.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna go for Ice Agent specifically because that screams I have a Punisher sticker on the back of my truck to me. So that's final answer.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's for sure. I'm feeling Ice Agent for sure.
Yeah, that's Ice Agent being proactive.
Yeah. Drum roll,
Okay,
please.
well, yeah, drum roll. That is 2017 Ice director Thomas Homan.
Yes.
So good times
Yes.
for everyone.
Good game, boys. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. 5, 4, 3. Man, I just need to come up with a harder game, I guess, is really.
I think the real problem of it is that we're all incredibly brain poisoned, and we've studied the deep lore on the various flavors of right wing shittiness. So
Hey, real quick, did I just win? I just want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
not
yeah,
important
we need to
though.
talk-
It's not.
Your check is in the mail.
About that real quick. And I do want to say it wasn't really fair. I know I won. I have the unfair advantage of being a minority, being a black man in America who is much more critical of and aware of the tell signs of white men. So that was I had a leg up there. I'm sorry about that. It's much like fast twitch muscles. We are also more critical of white men.
No worries. Now, just since I already wrote it out, and I feel like I think Tony could easily dunk on this. The tiebreaker I had would be, as the 6th round, you would need to. I'm gonna read 2 quotes. You need to tell me which is the Ice Agent and which is the mass shooter. Okay.
Can we edit in the lights go down, everything gets serious, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music right now?
I mean, you're the one doing post, so I mean,
All right, cool. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get the royalty free version of that then, and just right here, just
Royalty free. This is a podcast, dude. Do whatever you want.
all right. First quote: "We've all seen the Dems do some pretty sick things." Second quote: "The Democrat Party will own America, and they know it."
Okay. So the second one
Yeah.
is the ICE agent.
Nope.
Second one is the ICE agent. Is that what you're going with? Okay.
Can I hear those again?
Sure.
because
They are very similar, unfortunately. First quote: "We've all seen the Dems do some pretty sick things." And the second quote: "The Democratic Party will own America, and they know it."
Oh, the own part. Yeah, the own part. That's we're gonna switch here. I think we are gonna go. Number one's ICE agent. Number two's mass shooter.
Yep.
Yeah, number 2 is the El Paso shooter. I
damn it.
believe. And then number 1 is just any of the fucking Facebook comments we read on a weekly basis because the indication there is sick because God damn, those MAGA people hate those sick puppies in the Democrat
those
Party.
sick Democrats.
Yeah.
Demon
Democrat. Yeah, that's
Demon
what it is.
rats. Yeah.
I don't know why my fucking brain 404'd on how to say that, but yeah, I'll leave it to the experts here.
Yeah. My God. Okay. Well, Tony, completely perfect game.
Tell him what he's
gonna
won.
have to- You've won. I don't know. I have a half full bottle of juice. How about that? We can Amazon
I'll
Prime
just
it.
take the consolation prize of a healthy distrust of white men.
Well, I mean, I think that's probably the right way to view things. So, you know, I don't know how y'all are looking on time or not. If you guys want to cut it short here, we can do that, and then me and Bo, we can continue on to just our last little segment on cancel culture. Or if y'all want to stick around, whichever is easier for y'all.
I could stick around.
I'm gonna go, but yeah. Sorry, I would. I got the kid. I got to feed. So
Yeah, no worries.
I completely understand. So I mean,
Yeah, your prize
no
is getting to
worries.
leave this podcast. Well, cool. Yeah, thanks again, man.
Okay, yeah, thanks. Bye. We got podcast hosts dropping out left and right. It's going to be very
a regular-
interesting to then
Regular
put
Hunger
it all
Games here,
put
yeah.
it all in together. Yeah,
I think it's kind of a coward
cool.
move to win the contest and then immediately leave. Obviously doesn't want his title challenged or threatened in any way.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to just spend another hour and a half going back and forth on fucking ICE agent or mass shooter. I think that's the real new podcast we all got to do.
no. Don't worry. I'm thinking about creating a new game if we ever get a chance to do this again, and doing McCarthy era FBI agent or serial killer. And
Okay, going for the retro, yeah.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah. Just because, and it is weird when mass shooters have that slightly more eloquent kind of a vibe to them.
Yeah, so that was something I kind of thought of towards the end of the game was, and this is something I've noticed before in very online right-wing dudes, is that they have a tendency to type their anime villains, which comes through real hardcore in mass shooter manifestos. I don't know what to do with that information. I don't have a takeaway from that. It just sucks.
It's funny when the government agents, the people who have the authority of the federal government behind them are more petulant and more persecuted in their own statements than the actual fucking, quote, normal citizens conducting these atrocities.
Yeah.
That's a really good takeaway, is because or a giveaway rather, because these mass shooters they do have all these grievances. That's obviously the source of these acts, but they have found some sort of power in their actions, you know, which is obviously not a good thing. But, you know, these actual elected or, you know, appointed people in charge of actually killing people who are given a license to fucking kill and torture and round up humans, still are not happy and still feel like they're being persecuted to their core.
Yeah, they're still convinced they're the underdogs. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's very problematic for just all the reasons that anyone could possibly think of.
Yep.
But,
it's because it's all cultural. It's like, you know, they realize they've always had the power in some, you know, way, shape, or form, but they just want to be liked for having the power as well. They want to be celebrated, and the fact that they're not rubs them wrong, you know, eats away at them more than a fucking undocumented worker at a chicken plant ever does.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like them or cops or troops or, you know, fucking any of those folks. If they're not constantly being just 100% jacked off by every every civilian, essentially, clearly they're just a bunch of libs who don't appreciate them enough, which is why, you gotta be even more brutal and authoritarian.
Mm-hmm.
That's clearly the way to go. Right?
Yep.
It's the healthy approach that we all have.
Very.
The only consolation that I think that we can have is that we at least have a united front, you know, on the left that doesn't fall into infighting and just.
It's a good segue.
That's a terrible segue. I hate it. That's so good. God.
Yeah, it's. I don't know how many more people do you think that we can attack in the name of discourse, or how many more people do you think we're going to be afraid to attack because we'll be thinking, oh no, this infighting is cancel culture. You know, it never seems like we actually are picking on the right people, I guess, is my overall point.
There's like a big difference between criticizing someone rightfully and canceling them, you know, and that line gets blurred when it's fucking, you know, thousands of people on Twitter doing it at the same time or whatever. I kind of maintain that cancel culture just isn't real. You know, there is a problem.
No.
There is a problem with, like, the left eating our own or whatever, but when we actually do, quote, eat our own, it's usually for good reason. And other people getting criticized is also for a good reason. People that, you know, I'm pretty new to Twitter. You know, I've only been back on Twitter for about 6 months, not even a year at this point. In all the people that I follow, I rarely see pile-ons that aren't well-deserved. And it's like 99% it's not people on the left or anything. We're talking about ContraPoints right now, and I'm not really familiar with YouTube at all, but I think ContraPoints, for everything that I've read about her, does have a good mission. And even if she is, like, you know, not a communist, I think I read that she's like a self-described shit lib. I think her reaching out on these more like cultural or societal issues about, you know, masculine anger or masculine grievance or just misunderstandings about the trans community, I think that's all good. And everything that I've read about her most recent, like, cancellation or whatever, seems like a misunderstanding. I don't know if you were going to go over the actual topic or her actual tweets, but it seems like she was just expressing how she feels as a trans person who has really made an attempt to pass as a trans person. And having now to navigate a different landscape than the one that she's used to, where non-binary is more prevalent. More people are coming out as non-binary, and passing isn't their main concern. And she's saying how, as a trans person who is concerned with passing, even if that idea of passing might be transphobic in nature or whatever, it makes her feel self-conscious. She wants to blend in, and she doesn't in the tweets that I saw, she didn't ever say that like being non-binary is fake or being non-binary is an attack on trans people. She was just kind of commenting on her feelings about navigating, what is a shifting terrain.
I mean, I certainly understand where she's coming from, and although I might disagree with the exact phrasing, I don't quite think it was transphobic what she was getting at, but I do think that it was coming from a place of ignorance as opposed to malevolence, because this is probably new territory for her. The landscape, even of 2019 versus 2011 versus 2005, it's evolved so much and progressed in so many ways, but there are still a whole bunch of negative carryovers.
Can you describe which part you found ignorant?
I think the approach that she was trying to have of putting of ascribed value on passing, and at least from the tweets that I saw, there seemed to be a weighted sense of importance on that as it relates to her, without considering that wouldn't be important to other people, and so what they may value would be different. And so again, I don't think that she was coming at it from a way of trying to say, oh well, I don't care about these people. I think she was mostly talking about her own personal experiences, which isn't bad, and that's why she shouldn't necessarily be canceled for it. But I do think that the idea of how she reacted by jumping immediately off of Twitter, and that coupled with just people really sinking teeth into it, prevented I guess it prevented a possible opportunity for a productive discourse that then you could actually have someone go through and learn from it. I guess, I don't know. One of the things
not going to be
I'm
productive
always
discourse on the internet. I mean,
I understand
there could be
that,
in some fucking fantasy world, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like when people really go after someone, when they are going from it of like, hey, I don't really know too much about it as it relates, but here's how it relates to me. Mm-hmm. If then you really go after it, it seems very reactionary as opposed to being a way to be constructive. And I don't know what y'all's thoughts on that sort of stuff would be, but it seems like, oh, okay, in the grand scheme of things, she's an ally and she's trying to be an ally. And so then if you're going to be having a discourse with her, always keeping that in mind,
Yeah. Well, so that gets exactly to a point that Alex kind of brought up a second ago about cancel culture not really existing. I mean, ContraPoints is totally run off of Twitter. Y'all know who's back in action after a I think being quote unquote canceled about a month ago. Y'all remember the Pro Jared guy?
Oh yeah,
that YouTuber
I know that
who
name,
basically,
but I don't know who it is.
the long and short of it is, he cheated on his wife or something. I forget the exact intramarital details, but a big part of it, and I think the more significant part of it, was he was running a Tumblr that was quote unquote sex positive, where he was soliciting nudes from his fans, largely girls under the age of 18. And 2 days ago it says he was about to run a Monster Hunter stream. So, good thing we're really, really going after the right people,
I just with the ContraPoints thing, from what I was reading, she wasn't even run off Twitter. She went on vacation. She was set up for a 2-week vacation and just deactivated her Twitter for vacation or whatever.
Yeah.
So she'll be back. I mean, she's got how many subs on YouTube? I don't think she's going to just leave that on the table. I don't know.
Wait, just are you telling me that normal people don't constantly just refresh Twitter alone in a hotel room while they're on vacation? Because that's what I do. I mean, shit.
I saw, and I have to say that I'm cis male. It would be nice to hear from a non-binary person about this issue, and I would defer to them. Everything I read though did seem to be not an analysis, not a deconstruction of non-binary identity, but rather just her personal like insecurities about it. And that is what I got from they seemed the tweets seemed more self-effacing or self-deprecating than anything. She was saying, I have to struggle with this because I know that non-binary people are valid, and it's only my attempt to blend in with society that is causing this discomfort in these spaces.
Yeah, and definitely seconding that too. For anyone listening, Psychic Dolphin Garage, of course, officially fucking says trans rights, no matter what. I don't think that should ever be in question. Yeah. And if there's anything at all, because I am also cis and a dude, so Lord knows if I'm getting something wrong, please fucking just let me know about it, because odds are I am getting something wrong. But yeah, that's you touched on a really good point there too, of like, you know, not everything necessarily has to be a take. And I think with kind of the weird parasocial relationships that get built around, like, especially YouTube, I feel, you end up with these things where it's like, oh, like, every aspect of this person is the person they are on YouTube in their fucking video essays or whatever. And that means that everything they say is some sort of statement of fact or truth or something fundamental, rather than, hey, here's here's a fucking tweet about my day or something, even, you know, let alone here's a hot take on gender identity, you know. So,
absolutely.
It was funny though, because remember when that stuff about John Wayne was brought back to light, saying how we should have white supremacy until like the blacks can pull up their pants or whatever. People called that like buzz a cancellation. You know, the media was reporting that the lefties have now canceled John Wayne.
Is so canceled.
And it's like, no, it's just funny to make fun of an old racist dead guy. Like, it's just fun to do that.
Yeah.
And but I think, ironically, ContraPoints weighed in and said, oh, we're canceling King Henry or something like that as a snipe against people criticizing John Wayne. And the fact that he's dead now, and it's like, what's the point, I guess. So that's just interesting.
Which is a valid point, because, like, yeah, of course he's racist. Like, I mean, it's like we were talking about on that fucking other episode of the Alabama governor doing blackface. You know, she's a fucking 80-year-old lady from Alabama. She's pre-canceled. Like, even if she hadn't done blackface, odds are she's racist enough to be canceled regardless. And by canceling her, you accomplish nothing, because the people who like her, if anything, canceling her will make them like her more, because they like her because she's a piece of shit. You know,
I mean, same makes her stronger.
Same with the president, same with, you know, fucking whoever. So to, you know, again, quote unquote, cancel somebody by, you know, it's, well, yeah, like you were saying a second ago, it's not, doesn't have a lot of utility. So, good thing John Wayne's dead, at least.
I think it's fun. I'm canceling John Wayne for playing Genghis Khan in The Conqueror.
Yeah,
not a good look.
Hearing a lot about John Wayne getting canceled. Not a lot about John Wayne Gacy getting canceled. So really, yeah.
Hey, we can cancel two things at once. Okay.
Some of our faves might be problematic. The thing that that gets me though is in terms of aiming cancel culture in the right direction, because instead of spending effort on someone like ContraPoints, for example, I don't know if y'all saw in the news or if it was in y'all's feeds, but Roman Polanski won the jury prize at the Venice Film Festival, and like he's still staying super well respected, and
it's all a
not
joke.
Really able to come back into the U.S., but you know, like it just blows my mind that he's still weathering that storm, so to speak, or that he weathered that storm, and that we're all just kind of like, well, okay, it is what it is, but let's focus on internet culture and internet famous person instead of someone who's constantly in the
and
arts.
Has been a known, renowned kitty diddler for decades now. Yeah.
I mean, it's it goes back to the idea that there are like fundamental power structures in place, and no matter how much we rightfully criticize these people, from the bottom. It doesn't matter. A tweet storm doesn't matter.
I'm gonna see if I'm looking up if Roman Polanski's on Twitter right now, so I can tell him to fucking die. Get my account shut down for a week or something. Oh, well, Jezebel said the first result of this Roman Polanski convicted child rapist has been given yet another award. So, yep, that's the top news.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this is the same film festival that apparently gave the Joker movie an 8-minute standing ovation. So, Venice is just garbage, apparently.
I'm excited to see that movie. I think it's going to be good.
Against all odds, I think it might be too, which is really the fucked up thing.
When I first heard that he was playing the Joker, I was like, really? Joaquin Phoenix is a legitimately great actor, and it's amazing that he would want to tackle the idea of a serious, dark Joker, so quickly after Heath Ledger. But then when I saw the first trailer, I was like, okay, they're trying to do something different. It seems like an actual movie. This might be kind of good, but I didn't say anything because it's just such an obvious joke in and of itself. But
that's meta. I love it.
Now that whatever film festival gave them an 8-minute standing ovation, I feel confident to come out as a possible Joker fan.
The bold move that you take there, it will be remembered, Sarah. So. I applaud you for your courage, because
just stand up and applaud for 8 minutes.
It'll just be like everyone who likes Fight Club, but not for the dude bro reasons. You're gonna have to pull out a little index card, just be like, okay, now before you say anything to me after I just said that I like the Joker. Read this. Okay, let's go through all the byline.
Well, I like Fight Club for the right reasons, which is the fact that Jared Leto gets his ass beat.
Yeah. That's really the highlight of that movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Do you think that's who directed Suicide Squad?
Fucking good question.
What's his name? Isn't that
a director's?
David Ayers.
Let me see.
I think
pulling
so,
up right now.
Suicide Squad?
David Ayer, yeah.
Yeah, do you think David Ayer said the same thing after directing Suicide Squad? Do you think he said, I just felt like destroying something beautiful?
Yeah, I'm waiting for the late release of Suicide Squad. The director's cut where it's just a full hour and a half of Jared Leto getting the shit beat out of him. I'd buy a Blu-ray player for that.
Yeah, he was in character. He demanded it, and we thought, you know what? This will make a better movie. So here you go.
You want to know how I got this subcranial hemorrhage?
I mean, speaking of people who should be canceled, I mean, it's amazing that his antics on set, that we're all just like, oh.
Are you shitting me?
Or not all of us, but, it seems like culture as a whole is just like, that's wacky Jared doing his weird wacky thing. Herka.
I think the takeaway from this segment is just don't trust dudes named Jared. Fucking Subway guy for that matter. Goddamn. David Bowie from Labyrinth, his character was Jared.
My
David
cousin
Bowie for real. Yeah, exactly. Stole
David
my fucking
Bowie
copy
from
of
real life as well.
Yeah, my cousin Jared, who stole my copy of Ocarina of Time when I was 11. Finally returned it, but it was covered in fucking stickers. Getting into some real deep cuts now.
Have we already covered the Subway spokesperson?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And his low quality meat. And Pro Jared's low quality meat. That was part of the Pro Jared thing. He some dick pics leaked, and he's got not to body shame too much or anything, but his dick just looks like a Smurf lives in it. It's weird looking. Yeah.
I'm just picturing you looking at it the same way some people look at the Zapruder film. Just,
Yeah, Bo
left.
sitting in a dark room, covering his eyes while watching the snuff film from Snake Eyes.
It's great too because I'm actually wearing a Lee Harvey Oswald T-shirt right now, so this all checks out.
It's remarkably on brand for you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has been an episode.
Yeah, we touched on a lot of everything here. Yeah,
Good stuff.
And we've had hosts come in and hosts go, guests come in and guests go. I mean, it's
my computer fucking blue screen again in the beginning of an episode for no reason.
Yeah, it's just been a fantastic time for everyone. So just want to say thank you so much for coming on, Alex. And
Absolutely, yeah. Thank
also,
you.
Tony, when you listen to it, shout out to you too. Besting me in my game, making me look like a fool.
Thanks so much for having us
Absolutely.
on. Appreciate it.
Very sorry to both you guys if you end up listening to this again and having to just relive the whole experience. 'cause, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's time for plugs. So where can people find you, Alex? What have you got going on?
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter at Flieldy, F-L-I-E-L-D-Y, like I said at the top of the show, but I think it might have gotten cut. It's a combination of the two best bass players in the world, Flea and Fieldy.
Where does Thundercat fit into that?
Oh, Thundercat is definitely tier 2 under Fieldy.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, Fieldy had an autobiography called Fieldy of Dreams, so...
Ooh.
Yeah, once Thundercat comes out with a autobiography called 9 Lives, he might work his way up there.
Then he's top tier. Yeah, yeah, that tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, and listen to Minion Death Cult. You can find it at
Fuck yes.
miniondeathcult.com or wherever you get podcasts. We're on Spotify too.
Hell yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, it was so kick ass having you guys on. Because I mean, it was kick ass being on Minion Death Cult in the first place, but bringing you guys into our house and, you guys seeing the proverbial stacks of newspapers and all the cat turds and everything we kind of have around, like, yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks for inviting us on. It genuinely means a lot. We appreciate it.
So, Kelton, how are we signing off this week?
Well, I mean, we got to do our own plugs, I guess, of a sort. So, just a reminder to people, go ahead, tell your friends about us. Be sure that you join our Discord. Link is going to be in the show notes. Go ahead and leave us 5-star reviews, simply because that's what we're all about. And
just because we're handsome good boys, yeah.
Yeah, just be sure that you're following us on Twitch and Instagram at Dolphin Garage. We're either going to be doing a Twitch stream on Friday or Thursday. We're still trying to figure that out. And movie is TBD, but it will be Carl Urban themed. So, I mean, I
Carl
guess.
Urban adjacent somehow. Yeah, this
Yeah,
we're already running out of steam. I think we might have to bump Doom up before too long because turns out the whole Carl Urban thing. I mean, even Carl Urban can't save some of this stuff. So
Nope, not at all. So
The Boys
we'll
very
figure
good,
out a
though.
way.
I enjoyed
The Boys
that.
was great.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing that got us all
kicked
kicked
it off.
on
That was
this,
our that's where we kind of shot our wad, and the rest has just been. Oh yeah, so Riddick, he was in that, right? And we ended up talking about fucking Vin Diesel for 90% of the stream.
I still haven't seen the Judge
Yep.
Dredd reboot.
It's not bad actually.
So
it's not
good.
but it's not bad.
Oh yeah, I've heard good things.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. I guess to do a real quick sign off, you can find Zach at Shinobi1Kenobi. Bo, where can people find you?
You can find me at Schnedwob. That is SCHNEDWOB. Yeah. I don't have anything clever for that.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's
Just like my
okay,
Twitter, where I
it-
also don't have anything clever.
Don't say that. Come on, you gotta believe in yourself.
Your retweets are
you
very
guys-
good though.
Thank you. I know how to hunt content like a boss.
Yeah. I guess you can find me on Twitter at SexConfetti, and I'm just gonna leave everyone with a basic thought that the only true meritocracy is grifting rich people. Okay, guys, deuces.
Bye.